A podcast is here! A podcast is here!
Okay. Mitchell, I know you're excited, but let's just record the fucking podcast.
But plus ultra! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever in between, welcome to the final form. I'm your host, Mitchell, and with me again is Ryan.
Well, with you again for the first time in it's like a month really when you add it up.
Yeah.
I missed the last episode. Let's tell a little tale here actually. Last week, is it last week? Week before? 2 weeks ago. I was leaving to go on a trip to St. John's, so we scheduled a recording time the night before, and so the night before my vacation, 1 hour before I had to use my voice for recording purposes, I got a head cold, and I've never had better timing. We had to put the My Hero Academia episode on hold, which is what we'll be doing today, of course.
Yep.
And
I tossed that top 15 together lickety-split because I didn't want us to miss something.
Yeah.
We will not drop out of UA High.
And I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to the most recent episode. Mitchell did his top 15 anime, and it was fun, and I can't wait to watch some of those.
We will get around to some of them.
Yeah, well, we're getting around to one here today.
Yes, we're getting on to one of the ones in the top 5.
Yes. So, My Hero Academia.
This one is just so much fun.
I gotta say, this was refreshing after Gundam Wing, to say the least.
This is a lot easier to follow, but at the same time, it is so deep. Just after this podcast, of course, go on YouTube and just look up in-depth stuff about My Hero, behind-the-scenes stuff, or just meanings behind things.
Yeah.
Hell, look for references. There's so many references just to Star Wars.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And that's not counting every character has some inspiration or some homage to a DC or Marvel hero. I mean, Spider-Man is referenced 4 or 5 times.
Okay, let's back it up.
Yeah, let's explain what this show is.
Rein it in. I'm gonna rein you in this time.
All right, you.
So, you want to give the premise here, because I'm a little far out here. I finished watching season 2 the day we had planned to record, and so I haven't looked at it in 2 weeks. So I'm a little hazy.
Okay, so picture a world much like our own. The technology's pretty damn close. Maybe a little bit more ahead. Maybe we finally realized that we should be getting our phones from Apple and actually get decent. Anyway.
Well, I mean, technically, it's set in Japan, so it's probably, even behind us technologically.
Anyway, people are starting to develop superpowers, which they refer to as quirks. Think the mutants from Marvel or the metas from DC, with the only difference being people quickly adapt to this and quickly accept that, hey, people have superpowers. That's awesome!
It's like X-Men if people weren't dicks about it.
Yes! And that's one of the reasons why I love it so much more than X-Men, because, look, I may be a cynical guy, but even I think if a guy could start flying, I wouldn't want to throw rocks at him. I'd be like, oh, I am so jealous! Hey, can you give me a ride? And that's pretty much what happens. People start using these powers like you would. Guy can fly. He flies. But after a while, we do end up getting those kind of people who, hey, wait, if I can pick up a car and throw it, I should rob a bank. So people with superpowers start doing bad things, and people with superpowers start being heroes to stop them. And it's become such a society where heroes are everywhere. Every town has at least one hero. Every city has several of them running businesses where they do specialized hero work in stopping crime, rescuing people, just day-to-day things for morale and whatnot. And there is one hero who stands above every single one. The greatest hero in the world, All Might. Who, I'm sorry, I cannot... He's just so much fun when he's on screen.
He is a lot of fun.
And you look at him, and he's basically why I don't like Superman or Captain America. Both of those guys are said to be the most inspirational people from their universes. I don't buy it. All Might, when he shows up, he laughs in the face of danger. He laughs when he gets hit. And it brings people's morale to insane levels. Because once he's there, nobody can touch him, and he always saves the day.
Yeah.
But our story is about him slowly not being able to do that anymore. He's been hurt. He's getting old.
Yeah, and I thought the moment you find that out at the end of the first episode,
yeah,
I thought that was such a good twist.
Yeah, I especially love what people have dubbed Small Might as his weaker form.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I like that design because it feels so. That looks like some guy who would never save anybody. He looks like he's barely able to pick himself up off the ground.
It's a very weak, frail-looking man.
Even his face is so weirdly shaped.
Very gaunt, right?
But I just love the design of his face.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All Might is not the main character.
No.
Our main character is a young boy named Izuku Midoriya.
Also known as Deku.
Yeah.
Because every character in this show has
get to that
multiple names, which took me a while.
Deku is a very special young man. He's a smart boy. He understands heroes, he studies them, he looks at their weaknesses, but he's the odd man out because in a world where everyone has superpowers, when you don't, that kind of stinks, and he's born without one.
Yeah.
Which is referred to as quirkless. Mm-hmm. And his entire life, all he's ever wanted to do was to be a hero. Not for the fame, not for the glory, but because he wants to be a hero. I even get the impression that he wants to be a hero even with people not in danger.
Yeah.
And through a weird sort of odd events, he becomes All Might's apprentice. And All Might's unique powers are passed down to him, which is supposed to be impossible, but All Might's power is different.
Yes. Also known as One for All.
One for All, yep.
Yeah. So that's basically the main gist of the show. That's the setup.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, that's what you get through the first couple episodes.
Yeah, it's basically a quirky high school anime. Like, there's a lot of those.
It kind of falls under that category I like to refer to as the strong boy anime.
Yes.
Where you've got that young male main character who's full of heart and full of grit and oh boy, he's small, but is he ever strong? Which it kind of turns it on its head though, because he's not really strong.
No, in fact, he kind of is strong, but it's to a detriment.
Yeah, exactly.
The way All for One works is that every time it's passed on, it's actually stronger than the last one because it takes the powers of the last one. So when Deku finally masters his power, he will be stronger than All Might has ever been.
Yes.
Unfortunately, limiting that power in his small teenage frame is something he's terrible at.
Oh my god. And that's one of the things I love about the show. Like, the show is so bright and flashy, but it can be so fucking brutal and gruesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so Izuku, he has the One for All power, and he
just has basic super strength.
Yeah. So when he tries to use it, yeah, he is strong, and he can damage foes and
wreck robots, destroy buildings.
But it really fucks up his body. Like, he breaks all of his limbs, like, multiple times, and it is...
He tears muscles, he snaps bones.
It's really gruesome.
His hands are permanently scarred because he's broken his hand so many times in such unique ways to keep using his superpower.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful in how the quirk works. And that's another thing I love about the show. Every quirk, no matter how fanciful or how bullshitty it is, there's a reason for how it works. And they explain it. The quirks are a natural part of your biology.
Yeah.
One girl can create anything from her... using her, her skin, basically. But she first has to have enough extra fats and lipids in her body in order to make it.
Which character is that?
I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Her hero name is Creati.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But the thing is, she also has to know how this thing works.
Yes.
She can't, make a gun unless she knows how the barrel works, how the firing chamber works, where the pin goes, how the bullets work.
Yeah.
She would just make a plastic model of a gun.
Yeah.
So she has to have extra lipids, extra fat, and then understand what she's making.
Yeah.
Which, later on, she makes gas masks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
But
cool.
that's the thing, is she's a very studious young girl because of that.
Yeah.
She realizes the more she knows, the more I can do with this power. And every power seems to work like that. There's not just it works biologically, but the more you know about it, the more useful it is, the more you can do creative things with it. I don't want to spoil some things, but there's one character who you think only has one power, but she's been misunderstanding her power and learns how to use it offensively and not just for stealth.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a little bit ahead of them in the manga. I stopped reading the manga after the next part of the next arc.
Okay.
So once we get past the rescue, I'm not going to tell you who gets rescued, that's where my intel ends.
Okay.
So I started reading the manga when the anime came out, and I watched the first few episodes. I realized I don't want to spoil myself. This anime is too good.
Yeah.
Because there are scenes in the manga that are beautifully drawn, but when you hear a character like Deku wincing in pain, taking those sharp breaths because he's clearly in pain but still standing on his feet, that's 1,000 times better than just looking at a still image.
Yeah.
That still image can convey the image that he's hurt and standing, but hearing him just in pain, you wouldn't get the impression in those scenes that it hurts to breathe. It just hurts to stand. No, when you hear him breathing sometimes, you get the impression that I think his lungs may have collapsed.
And that's something I want to mention. Not just, I was going to say the voice acting is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But the one thing I've noticed about this show, and that really grabbed me, is it checks every box.
Oh, yeah.
Anything you could look for in a great anime, a great story, fantastic characters, great villains, character design,
pacing is fantastic,
voice acting, the music, everything is phenomenal. It is.
I keep trying to find flaws in it, and so far my biggest flaws are I don't like some of the ending songs.
Yeah,
that's me at my most nitpicky.
But honestly, I haven't really listened to the ending songs because by the time the episode ends, as soon as I see that the end credits are rolling, I want the next episode.
Yep.
So it's not one of those. It's not one of those times, one of those shows where you're gonna wait for the next episode if you have a choice.
Because I was watching it while the episodes were still being done.
Yeah,
I got to listen to the songs because I couldn't go next. I just had to go. Not till next Saturday.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you can watch this every Saturday. It gets released in English and Japanese every Saturday morning. So it's a Saturday morning cartoon at its best.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. But
I haven't started season 3 yet. I've got first 2 seasons. There's 4 or 5 episodes out?
4 or 5. One's not been dubbed due to a bookkeeping snafu, but it's a clip show, so even I skipped that one.
Okay.
I know it did some different things than a standard clip show does, but I was so excited just to get to the new stuff.
Clip show, is that what do you mean, like a recap?
Recap, yeah.
Okay.
That's the term I've heard the most thrown around. So, but
still learning the.
Well, I've heard clip. I've used the word clip show since The Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for the clip show. Have no fear. We've got stories for years. And speaking of for years, I'm pretty sure the manga is way ahead, so we've got lots to catch up on.
When I was in St. John's, I happened across a selection of the manga in a bookstore.
Yeah.
And I was very tempted, but I don't own a whole lot of manga. I haven't read a whole lot of manga, but the ones I do own are the 3-in-1 books.
Yeah. And
I was kind of hoping they would have one of those.
They'll have those sooner or later, just because those are way more convenient.
Because if I'm just going to buy the one, I'm gonna fly through that thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like, I kind of want something that's gonna last me at least a couple days, you know?
The last time I bought a single manga was I bought the first issue of One Punch Man.
Oh, okay.
Which is another superhero show, kind of like this one, but it goes a different route.
Yeah.
And I sped right through that so fast, I'm like, I should have waited for a bigger one.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
we should probably... how many characters should we really go into? Because there's a lot of characters.
Well, considering this entire class becomes secondary characters, I guess we'll talk about... we talked about All Might.
Before you get into that, I want to say this. When you watch the show, when you first start watching the show, the opening credits of the first season, it shows this flash of, like, I want to say, like, 20 or 30 heroes.
Yeah.
And you're like, are these all characters in the show? I don't know who any of these people are. What the hell is happening?
Yeah.
And some of them don't really get introduced until, like, season 2.
Yeah. A lot of times when animes do an opening like that with the successful manga series, they want to tease you with, we remember these guys, they'll be here eventually.
Yeah.
And that is confusing if you know nothing about the manga. But or even if you haven't read the manga for a while.
When I first watched it, I was like, okay, they're just giving, like, background characters, I guess, a little bit of time in the credits. But, like, now going back, and, like, I watched the opening before we recorded this morning, I was like, holy shit, now I know all of these characters pretty damn well. Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of these characters are really deep, but they're introduced in such a simplistic way that you know them pretty fast.
Yeah.
There's a girl who makes herself bigger than most buildings. She really wants to be famous. That's pretty much all of her scenes.
Yeah.
But she's such a lovable character that I know a lot of people like Mount Lady. That's the name of that hero.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorites because when I found out why she wants to be famous, which is to get attention for other people who have gigantic works, so they can get proper schooling, I'm like, you went from a funny, likable character to an actual real hero. And that's one of the things My Hero talks about a lot, which is different forms of heroism. There's the stoic, I can do no wrong, I must punch evil in the face.
Yep.
There's the kind of, I want to work really hard to make money to help people, especially my family. That's pretty heroic.
Yep.
I want to follow in my brother's footsteps or my father's footsteps to be a hero and be just as inspirational as them. That's pretty heroic.
Yep.
And there's the little shit who wants to be famous so he can get chicks. He's still going to do good things.
Yeah.
But he's a little shit.
I wasn't sure how to feel about him.
He's that make it or break it character. You either find him funny or
grape juice?
Grape juice.
Yeah.
You either find him funny or you want to throw him in a trash compactor.
I don't find him funny.
I want to throw him in a trash compactor.
Yeah, but at the same time, his quirk is so cool. It's like it's so very specific. Just to clarify, he has this weird hairdo that is like these purple balls, and he can take them off, and
they're instantly sticky to everything but him, and he grows a new ball.
And he bounces off them. So, like, it seems so specific and weird. You're like, there's no way that's useful. But then he uses it, and you're like, oh shit, that's very useful.
He uses it to stick villains to each other. He uses it to hitch a ride on someone's back without them being able to know he's there.
Yeah.
He uses it to climb walls.
Exactly.
And
I don't know.
It's just, there's a guy who shoots tapes out of his arms.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's stupid, but then he Spider-Man's with them. You're like, oh, that's awesome.
I haven't seen. I don't know if they've gotten into him more in season 3 yet. But like as far as I haven't seen much of that guy yet.
He hasn't really.
No.
All I know, he's just there so the creator of the manga could draw someone web swinging because he's a big Spider-Man fan. But he didn't want to just have a spider guy, so he's like, I'll make a tape guy instead. Yeah. But okay, let's go back and we've talked about Deku. We've talked about All Might.
There's
the next most prominent character is Bakugo.
Yeah.
And
which I got so confused with his name.
Yes.
Because
he's called Kacchan by Deku.
Yes. Bakugo is his actual last name?
I think it's last. I stopped paying attention which is which.
Yeah. Because but his name is Katsuki.
Katsuki Bakugo. I think that's
but like some people call him Kacchan.
Yeah.
Some people call him Bakugo. Some people call him Katsuki.
Yeah.
And I got like there were times where I was like, oh wait, his name's Bakugo. So who's okay? No, that's okay.
You almost sometimes yes.
Yeah, I There was nothing about the story I ever had to, I didn't catch.
No.
The story was very easy to follow. But I did have to go reading up and try and get the names in order.
Yeah.
Because that got a little out of hand.
Speaking of names, I don't remember if he ever actually picked a hero name, but I loved him trying to get one.
Yes.
King Explosion Death.
That was a very funny
King
scene.
Lord Explosion Murder.
So he's Midoriya's rival, nemesis type?
Okay, if you ask Midoriya, Kacchan is his best friend, I think. If you ask Bakugo, Midoriya is the shit stain he just walked on.
Yeah.
Bakugo is terrible, terrible people skills.
Yeah.
His quirk is that his sweat is explosive.
Yes.
And if you think, wow, that sounds really dangerous and stupid, the explosions, for one, don't burn him.
No.
And two, he tends to make his sweat in his hands explode, so he tends to have high sweat glands in his hands, and he uses that for offensive, obviously, to slam an explosion in someone's face, but he also jumps and then has his hands explode bigger to push himself forward. Yeah. And he's actually pretty smart. He comes across, you first think that he's just the class bully.
Yeah.
But he aces every exam he takes, because beyond his rough exterior, he wants to be a hero.
Yeah. I thought they were going to go the route of a villain with him.
No.
But, no, he's much more of an anti-hero.
He's much more of an anti-hero, but the thing is, much like Deku, he worships All Might, in a sense.
Yeah.
And he wants to be that unstoppable symbol.
Yeah.
For
Except with his temper, it's more like, I want to be better than All Might.
Yeah. Which is technically what Deku is trying to do, too.
Yeah.
But Bakugo isn't being subtle about it.
No.
Subtlety and Bakugo go about as well as anything that explodes in subtlety.
Yeah.
And at first, I couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
I met people like that with short fuses who are jerks, everyone around them, who are high and mighty.
Yeah.
I don't hate him anymore, but he's certainly not one of my favorite characters.
I've grown to like him now that I get it.
Yeah.
He's very easy to hate.
Yes.
In the beginning, but after they start to delve into his psyche a little bit, and you see that a lot of this is sort of a deflection.
Yeah.
And that he is short-tempered. He actually means well.
Yeah.
But he hides it.
He hides it, and he pretty much walks around with both feet in his mouth some days.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing. The teachers at his school see that hero inside him, and they want to motivate that and grow that. But he's so set on who he is that honestly, I feel sorry for some of the teachers there.
Yeah.
The next most important character is I can't remember her name now. Gravity is her superhero name?
Uraraki?
Uraraka, that was it.
Uraraka. There you go. I know there's a lot of R's in there, and it's kind of hard to get the pronunciation on that one.
Yeah. She's our female lead.
Yeah.
And her unique ability, if you couldn't guess from Gravity being a name, is that she actually can manipulate the gravity of things she touches.
Yes.
By mostly just making them have no gravity and float away, but you can also restore gravity to it instantaneously.
Yeah.
And this does not just include items. You can make people float, too.
Yeah.
And she can make herself float, but because it turns off her center of balance, she gets sick from it. So as the main female character, she's the one we see the most, and she's absolutely adorable.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I gotta say.
I mean, she wants to be a hero because they make a lot of money, but she wants to make that money for her parents.
Yeah, it's not out of greed.
No, it's the sweetest reason you could want money.
Yeah.
And it's not even that her parents are, bad off. They're pretty successful business people, from what I understand. Like, they're doing okay. They're not, like, living it up, but they live a comfortable life and raised a happy young girl.
Yeah.
And she wants to repay them for that by making their retirement easy, I guess.
Yeah.
And she also, like many people, looks up to heroes. So she looked up and said, I can do good, I can help my parents. Mm-hmm. There is no downside to this.
Yeah.
And even when some terrible things go down, like villains attack, people get hurt, she still wants to do good for this simple reason. And her scenes with Deku are just too fucking precious.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you'd call her the...
Love interest, I guess?
Love interest. I mean, she's got a lot more going on than most love interests. She's got her own thing.
And plus, with how awkward she and Midoriya are when it comes to their budding relationship, it's even more actual realistic, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I guess the third out of the main trio, sort of like...
now here's where you actually might get an argument with people.
Oh, yeah?
Some would say the class rep Ingenium is the next most important character. Others would say Todoroki, the guy with fire and ice powers, is the most.
I think it's... yeah, I know what you're saying. I would go... Okay, like, I feel like the class... There are two main trios. You got your trio of friends, which would be Midoriya, Uraraka, and what's Ingenium's actual first name?
I can't remember. Like, I'm so used to using their hero.
Ingenium is the hero name that he took that his brother used to use. Oh man, his name's not coming to me now. And then you've got sort of the top of the class.
Three.
Like the highest performing ones,
which is Bakugo, Midoriya, and
Todoroki. Yeah,
and
yeah.
So we'll talk about the class rep next.
Just because I think he's introduced earlier, and you get to know him a little earlier. Like
he's the stereotypical anime class rep. Yeah. He's stuck up. Yeah. He's by the books.
Yeah.
Like, even when they go on a field trip, he's telling them, get your class number, sit in the bus. And when the bus has no proper seating, it's a round bus inside, he gets very depressed that, oh, the round bus ruined my perfect seating order. And you're just like, dude, come on. But it's because of that mindset that he wants to be a professional hero who's by the books, get things done right.
I had to look it up. Ida,
that was it.
There you go.
And his superpower is he's really damn fast because he has engines coming out of his legs.
I like that. Like, you get a speedster, but not a typical speedster. Like,
these are proper engines with exhausts and everything, and they can overheat, which doesn't really destroy his legs, but prevents him from going faster than average.
Yeah, he's got a cooldown.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
They do really creative things with that because it's an engine with exhaust.
Yeah,
he uses the backdraft, the backfire to do damage.
Yeah.
He uses. I think later on he uses the smoke to destroy people.
Okay. Yeah.
And with Todoroki, the guy who can make fire or ice, if he cools down the engines while he's running, he can run longer and faster.
Yeah.
So it's a great example of how teamwork in that class can be amazing. He also has one of the more dark arcs in the first two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically the third arc.
Yeah.
And wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was a fantastic arc.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Do we want to get into spoilers?
We'll get into that after we explain the other character who takes part in that as well, which is our Mr. Fire Ice, which Bakugo refers to as Mr. Icy Hot, which I did not realize was a reference to that pad thing you put on that's icy 1 second, then heats the next. And when I found that out, I'm just like, oh my god, how did I miss that? But yeah, Mr. Fire and Ice, who pretty much looks like Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you ever watched that show.
I haven't, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's the one with the most emo background.
Yeah, he's got some daddy issues going on.
A little bit of mommy issues, too.
Yeah.
Family issues in general.
Yeah.
His superpower always reminds him of his issues, because his mom had ice powers, his dad has fire powers, he got both somehow, so when he uses his fire powers, he thinks of his dad, and he hates his dad, so he doesn't use his fire powers. But he's so happy with his ice powers, he doesn't need half. He's basically playing on hard mode.
Yeah.
And his powers are already overpowered as all crap in some situations.
Will Smith said it best, parents just don't understand.
Well, to be fair, his mom literally burns his face because he used fire and reminded her of her husband, who is not a good man.
No, he's not.
Which is terrifying when you think that he's the second best hero in the world.
Yeah.
Which his dad is basically on fire almost all the time, but not like The Human Torch, he has a mustache of fire.
Yeah. What's the character's name again?
I don't remember because I liked him so little I didn't want to see him anymore.
Yeah, no.
But he's pretty much a well-respected hero by everyone, but when you find out that he, A, married his wife because of her powers, because apparently quirk-based marriages are a thing.
Yeah.
B, he doesn't care for any of his kids who didn't present both powers. So Todoroki has several siblings that got shunned. So his siblings also shunned Todoroki because, hey, you got dad's respect.
Yep.
His dad's a giant... There's no nice way of... There's no way you can bring up any positivity about his father besides he's damn good in a fight.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason he's almost able to keep with All Might. But I get the impression that his personality is what really holds him back.
Yeah, for sure.
And then his mom... Ooh, that poor woman.
Speaking of fire, I want to just say, 40 minutes in, I just realized the fireplace has been on. You can probably hear that.
Oh.
I might as well address it instead of... If you're wondering what that weird hum is in the background, actually, you know what? Let's just... There's probably quite a difference there.
Hopefully,
yeah.
This didn't ruin... Okay, I guess we're getting a tradition started with when the two of us do full anime.
Yeah.
Some audio issue is going to happen.
We're gonna fuck up Well, I'm gonna fuck up somewhere. I'm running all the recording equipment, so I'm the one who's fucking up here.
That and I'm absolutely flawless.
Yeah. What's that reminds me of a character. What's the guy with the belly button laser?
Oh, I cannot stop twinkling is a superhero name.
I cannot stop twinkling. Yeah.
I hate that guy too. But I don't hate him the same way as I hate grape juice. I hate him because he makes me laugh, and I really shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I don't even know where we go character-wise here because there's just so many.
I mean, I could talk about my next favorite character, which is the Frog Girl.
Oh, Froppy?
Froppy, yeah.
Yeah.
Who, hilariously enough, every anime I have watched that's in this genre of shonen has two major battles about it. First one is always what was referred to as the shipping war.
Okay. People
who want character A to be paired with character B, but this other group want character A with character C.
Okay.
So the shipping war on this one is people like Deku with Uraraka or Froppy, and they will fight to the death about that. And I'm like, I can't argue because whenever he's with either of these chicks, it's always adorable.
Yeah.
Like Deku is oddly very good with women, despite the fact he's shy around them.
Yeah.
But, okay, how about this? What is the first thing when you think of this show? I want to know what the first thing that pops in your mind about this show.
The first, what comes to mind?
Yeah,
with this show?
Yeah, what best sums up what your first thoughts of the show is?
Just fun and energy, because it is, it doesn't have dull moments.
No.
It doesn't slow down.
When it does, it's the right kind of breather.
Yeah.
For either a laugh or for you to sink in what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
It's not constantly running nonstop.
No.
But it can feel like that in the best sense.
Yeah.
You're never sitting going, okay, can we get to the next fight?
The only time that I was kind of like, okay, move on. In the first season, they have sort of this thing where they like to replay scenes.
Yeah, that's an anime cliche as all hell.
Yeah, in the first season, there are some really emotional scenes that would have had a bigger impact if they didn't just replay them 10 times.
Yeah,
but they totally lost that in the second season.
Yeah,
and
the second season is much sharper pace. The third season is keeping that pace.
Yeah. I was surprised. When I watched the first season, I was like, man, that was incredible. I hope this isn't one of those shows that goes downhill after the first season. And then the second season blew the first out of the water.
So, just as a heads up, the third season apparently made the internet cry in episode 2 or 3.
Okay.
It didn't make me cry, it made me go, yes! Yes!
Is it related to grape juice at all?
No, it's Deku's first really big heroic scene.
Oh, okay.
But for me, it wasn't the actual heroic thing he did that was the most heroic for me. It was the next episode after the fight, where I felt like you may not be in All Might's shoes right now, Deku, but you just put on one of them at least.
Yeah.
He is already standing tall, despite the fact he's standing there with both arms broken. Which, again...
Of course, yeah. He'll figure it out one of these days.
He will, and looking forward to how terrifying he'll be then.
Yeah. But no, the energy. It's just like... the colors are so vibrant and in your face.
This is basically the best anti-DC cinematic universe.
Yeah.
It's bright. It has realistic scenes, but it also remembers that, hey, we're basically a comic book. Let's have fun!
It's always fun. Like, the fun does not stop.
When something dark happens, the fun comes back. Or you feel like this is much more of an impact when something dark does happen.
Even when it is dark, it's dark in a fun way.
Yeah.
Like, not going to get into any... It's not really spoilers. There's a villain in the second season, you know, the hero killer.
Yeah.
Like, that whole scene with fighting him in the back alley, dark.
Terrifying in some situations.
Brutal. But it is a great fight scene.
Oh, yeah.
And it is fun for people who enjoy fight scenes, which I imagine if you're watching anime, you probably enjoy.
There's a good chunk of us who just exclusively watch anime for fight scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
I, for one, like to know why the fight is going on.
Well, yeah.
But if you're just there for the energy of all the fights are amazing. Personally, if you just want raw, good energy, the tournament arc they have in the start of season 2.
I love the tournament arc. I love it.
Everyone is tired of tournament arcs in anime until this one came out, and we're all like, oh yeah, we like when our heroes just get to use their powers in cool, interesting ways.
I didn't really want the tournament arc to end at all.
Which, if you ask me, it ended perfectly too.
Oh yeah, it did. Absolutely.
But the fight between Todoroki and Midoriya is technically a loss for Midoriya, but in my opinion, it was a major win for him.
Oh yeah.
And we got to see how clever he is with, even though his powers are destroying him, he finds a way of using his fingers after breaking them by using his mouth to pull back his finger.
Yeah.
And you're like, I would have never thought of that.
No. It's unreal.
And then he still somehow managed to use a broken finger on its own by sheer force of will. And you're like, where did that shy nerd go?
Another thing I like about this show, for people who like anime, I mean, for anime fans, it is kind of like, oh my god, yes, I want this. But if you've never watched anime, if you have never watched any anime, or if you've never really been into it, I feel like this is very accessible.
This is a gateway drug if I've ever seen one.
I mean, especially with, like...
Okay, the way I sold this show to Ryan is I told him there's a fight scene that basically made me think of the Incredible Hulk if he was well animated. Which was the fight All Might has in Season 1.
Yes.
And
with
Nomu. Yeah.
That was a good fight.
And that's all I described it as.
Yeah.
And when I told that to you, you're like, that sounds really good.
Yep.
And when you watch the show, you were hooked.
Yeah.
And like I said, because this show is homaging more Western things,
it
is really good to get Western fans in the best kind of way without really like being kind of obvious.
Yeah.
This is written by a guy who loves the best parts of comic books.
Yeah.
Not the grim dark, not the pointless deaths, not the myriad of crossover events. He's there because I like when the good guys fight the bad guys and they have a fun time along the way and weird things happen.
Yeah. And it's clear. And I mean, with the popularity of the Marvel movies right now.
Speaking of which, in Japan, Marvel Infinity War, the cast of My Hero Academia did commercials for them.
Oh.
So Deku introduced, I think, Captain America.
I saw something about that.
Yeah. Unaraka introduced Black Widow.
Yeah.
All Might, I think, introduced the Hulk. Bakugo, I think, introduced Doctor Strange, was it?
Okay.
But they're basically talking about how these heroes are as an entire crossover. And that's it. The crossover was static image of the head of the My Hero character talking with clips of the Avengers doing Avengery things.
Okay.
And movie coming out such and such date.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so cute.
It's brilliant marketing.
It's brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hope one day the Avengers can throw a nod back to them.
Yeah. That'd be pretty fucking cool, actually.
I know I've met some people who are very upset with the idea of superheroes being done by Japan because they think that's an American concept.
Okay. And
my first response is, you do know Superman was made by Canadians.
Yeah. No. Okay. I'm not even gonna...
Yeah, when you hear that, you're just kind of like, can you please,
With all of the shit that American film and TV has tried to steal from Japan.
Oh, yeah. I think we're allowed to do the reverse.
Yes. I don't. Moving on from that.
Yeah, moving on from that fun, weird thing, which is the internet.
I don't know what else to say.
We should talk about the League of Villains a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned Nomu, but we've really got to talk about... Well, he's not really the main villain, but he is the main villain.
Yeah.
Who, the internet refers to him as Facepalm-kun.
Okay.
Because he wears a hand on his face.
Yeah, Shigaraki?
Shigaraki, yes. Yeah. He is so interesting as a villain.
I love the design. I love the fucking design.
He's a skinny teen with terrible dry skin and scraggly hair.
Yeah.
With a raspy-ass voice. With the power to, whatever he touches, he can disintegrate.
Yeah.
How does that not come across as creepy as all hell? And when you see him without the face and he smiles, you're like, you terrify me.
Yeah, he, like, when you first see him, when I first saw him, I was like, okay, this character's design is fantastic, but he doesn't seem that imposing.
No.
And then you see his power and you're like, holy shit, this guy's powerful and terrifying.
Yeah. And... he's basically been made the boss of a group of villains by somebody else. And the guy who's assisting him has the ability to teleport. So that concept of that combo alone of a guy who can teleport large groups of people and a guy who can disintegrate people with just the touch of his hand.
Yeah. What's that other character's name?
I don't remember his name. I know people refer to him as Black Hole Man.
Yeah, because he's just like a disembodied shape.
He's just a flaming shadow head.
Yeah.
With this nice... he's basically evil Alfred.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just as deadly as regular Alfred, too.
Yeah, really, though.
And those are the two most reoccurring villains we've got.
Yeah, there's another one I don't think we should get into because that's a major twist at the end of Season 2.
All I can say is... Eep.
Yeah.
Then there's the most influential villain in the series, though. That what we mentioned earlier is... the Hero Killer.
Yes.
Who I love his ideology. Because essentially, like most good villains, he is the hero in his story.
Yeah.
Shigaraki is not the hero in his own book.
No.
The Hero Killer Stain? Yeah, he thinks he's the hero. His whole goal is to kill every corrupt, selfish hero he can come across.
Yeah.
The only one he thinks is worthy is All Might. Except for... Deku wins over him.
Yeah.
And... yeet. And his superpower is he can paralyze you if he tastes your blood. So he carries knives around.
Yeah. He's pretty, very powerful.
Also, I don't think he has a nose.
No, he doesn't have a nose, and I don't know why.
Is that part of his quirk?
Yeah, maybe.
That's another thing of the show, is people have weird designs for the sake of having weird designs.
Yeah.
Sometimes it calls back to their quirk. Other times just like, I want that guy to have weird teeth.
Or like Tokoyami, who is like has like a bird head.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with his superpower, which is to create basically a shadow that's kind of at the same time like Green Lantern's ring, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
But the shadow looks like a bird.
And the shadow has...
does the shadow look like a bird because it's his shadow, or just because it looks like a bird?
That's a good point.
But in that case, why does Tokoyami look like a bird?
I don't know. But his shadow isn't just a shadow, because it has like its own consciousness.
And so it's like own personality, and it's just like... There's like the shadow is a term in psychology. Is that literally his shadow, or is that just a separate entity that grew in him? I have no idea, and I love him.
Yep. So, let me just run through this now. We touched on the first arc being Midoriya
going to school and learning his powers.
Yes.
The second major arc is the tournament, which is basically the classes competing.
And then the
Hero Killer was the third arc. So the second and third arc are season 2. Not to confuse people. Anime like to split up into arcs.
Yeah.
But a season is still a length of episodes.
Yeah. This is a fucking hell of a show.
Oh, it is. Like I said with Gundam, I'm hoping we've got people at least pique their interest in, because I want more people to watch this. I want people to really enjoy this. And I remember reading about this because I watched it a while ago and I completely forgot about mentioning it to you, but there is an OVA, which is an original video animation.
Okay, yeah.
It stars all the students in Class A.
Yep.
Going on a field trip and coming across someone whose name is Romero with the quirk Zombie.
Really?
Yes. Not in English though, it's only in subs.
Okay.
And the quirk behaves like you probably think it does. And it's just a short, 20-30 minute, it's a mini episode in a sense.
Okay, does it like...
It's also non-canon.
So. Oh, okay, it's non-canon. Okay,
but it's
I was going to ask, where does it fall on the timeline here? But...
So it's basically what would happen if Class A fought a guy who could make zombies.
Wow.
And they turn into zombies.
Interesting.
And that's the thing, this show is just fun.
Yeah.
It remembers you can have fun with superheroes, which is something I have to keep yelling at DC. The reason why I always bring up DC is I think they've got better characters than Marvel.
I think it's falling on deaf ears.
But they don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
Marvel has made characters I don't like into amazing, fun people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is not hard. This is not rocket science.
No.
Come from a place with fun first. Just because it's fun does not mean we can't have serious moments.
Yeah.
Like a guy going around killing heroes because they're not heroic enough, in his opinion.
Yep.
And ends up injuring one of the main character's siblings, so they go on a bloody rampage for vengeance.
Yep.
And the hero killer calls him out for bloody vengeance, because that's not heroic.
Yeah.
But in most people's situation, they consider, isn't vengeance a form of justice, which itself is kind of heroic? And you're like, the show doesn't give you an answer on that. It gives you the hero killer's point. It gives you the character who did its point, and then it gives everyone else's opinion too.
And then it lets you make your own decision.
Yeah. It's the best example of, like I say, basic at surface, deep under it.
Yeah.
That also brings me to a random fact that really just makes me giddy, and probably not a lot of people, but the chief of police in the town, his quirk is to have a dog head, which just cracks me up.
Yeah,
but his voice actor is one of my favorite characters from another anime, and he uses the exact same voice, only he randomly says Wolf.
What?
The Overlord's main character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the giant skeleton man. And that kind of ruined a bit for me, but then it cracked me up so much I went back and loved it. And
nice. Yeah, they're
there's three of the students are in deep trouble for breaking the law by taking the law in their own hands for all the right reasons. And the police chief comes in to give them a lecture, and he's a dog man, and he woofs every few minutes.
Yeah. It's a pretty funny scene, actually.
It's a funny scene. It's a serious scene, but they don't decide to just cram serious down your throat.
No.
Here's a couple of quick chuckles you have, but they still remember to keep this scene important, so it's not, here's the message, no, here's the message, but remember to smile.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to touch on this very, very briefly. I got to see Infinity War last week, and they did that very well, because the movie touches on a lot of serious, dark moments, but they remember to throw in a lot of great jokes, a lot of humor, a lot of lighthearted scenes as well.
Yeah. Remembering that these people are people.
Yeah, exactly. Like
they're not just their heroic persona.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll touch on that more later, because I'm actually doing a back-to-back recording here. Me and James are recording in like an hour. So, we're going to do a little Infinity War review. I don't know what else to say about My Hero Academia. Like, I'm sure we could get into more.
Oh, we could probably bring up our favorite characters and try and dissect them a bit more.
Yeah, but
we don't want that. If you want that content, the internet has that for you. Yeah. I guarantee you, if you find a character who's a background character, you think, "Oh, I wish I knew more about them." There is information about them.
It's there. Yep. And that's the thing I like. It's there are characters that show up for like a scene.
Yeah.
And they're still so well developed.
Yeah.
Like when Froppy has her own episode.
Yeah. Which is
the hero she's training under, I forget what
he's basically a seal man.
Yeah, he's basically a seal man. But he's so unique.
Yeah, he wants to be cute at the same time as being a hero.
Yeah, like the guy is like the size of the Hulk. And
every now and then he makes cute faces and cute noises, and you're like, he grows on you. At first you're like his main sidekick. You just want like, oh god.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, you're like Froppy, and you're just like, it is so cute. And that's the thing how people are. They can be. You look at them going, oh, I clearly know what this guy is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's walking a kitten. Why is he walking? That's so weird, but adorable because it's a kitten. But yeah, I mean. Like everything I say, you gotta at least watch one of the opening songs.
Yeah. Honestly, watch them all.
Yeah.
Because
even if you don't like all of them, all 4 that are out are still really damn good.
I haven't heard the 4th yet, because I haven't really gone out of my way to watch them. I just wait till they're part of the show.
I go back and rewatch them myself when I just want inspirational music.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
Number 2 has the most inspirational song of the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Of the first 3. Just that scene of it starts off so quietly and they're all just stretching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, watching this opening makes me want to start running.
Yeah.
Just get myself back into shape. And then I have to remind get myself into shape for the first time.
Yep. I really, really like the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the funny thing, too, because the very first one grew on me so much that I was absolutely hooked. And when they changed it, I was like, wait, no, why are you doing this?
Go back.
And then by the time I was maybe halfway through season 2, I was like, okay, this is the fucking song. And then they changed it again.
Yeah. They're changing it every time there's a new arc.
Yeah, which
makes it's a good way of just reminding you of saying, oh, I'm in this arc now.
Every 12 to 13 episodes, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Third one didn't grow on me quite as much, although
it's good.
It is good, yeah.
It's probably my least favorite of the 4 as well.
Yeah.
But if someone was playing it, you wouldn't see me turn off.
No.
And there are some amazing English covers of them I recommend people listening to as well.
Yeah.
And just take 20 minutes and watch the first episode.
Yeah.
Just do it for us.
Yeah.
Just if you love us, just take 20 minutes and watch this.
I'm going to call out 2 people I know are listening to this. I know they're listening. Will Sullivan, you're listening. I know you listen to every episode of this. I know you watch a lot of anime. I know you work night shifts where you can watch anime. Go watch the show. And James Moss, my co-host from Jedi Dropouts, I know you don't watch a lot of anime, but this has you written all over it.
Yes, it does.
It really does.
For some weird reason, Bakugo looks kind of like you to me. Because he is kind of a punk.
Yeah.
He's the best kind of punk, which you kind of yourself are, so take 20 minutes and watch the first episode.
Yeah.
If you are not hooked on it, fine.
Yeah.
But it clearly latched onto Ryan as much as it latched onto me.
Yeah, it did. Like, this became an instant favorite.
I guarantee you listeners will come back to this show.
Yeah.
Maybe after 2 or 3 more seasons?
Yeah. Something like that.
Or if something amazing happens, there is a movie coming out, so maybe we'll come back for the movie.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. And they've got that game coming out as well.
Oh yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
Maybe we'll once there's enough content, we'll compile and come back. I mean,
oh yeah, I know we can definitely come back already. Yeah. We've got enough material to come back.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
We could probably do a weekly podcast on just one character a day.
Yeah, we could.
I don't think I would get tired of that, but I would like to get to different anime.
Yeah. We got some other interesting stuff coming up.
Yes. Shall we tell what the next one we're going to watch is?
What was the next? Oh, yeah. Death Parade.
Death Parade. Yeah, we're going for a very different anime thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit closer in tone, I guess, to Gundam than My Hero.
I have no idea. I haven't started it.
It's It's like 12 or 13 episodes long.
Yep.
And it's very good. Very, I guess, supernatural and otherworldly.
Yep.
Because it literally deals with death.
I've been wanting to watch this since in the pilot episode.
Yeah, I talked about the opening. And
yeah, you told me just the premise of the show, and I was hooked.
Yeah, and the opening was just so damn good.
Exactly.
So we will try and get around to Death Parade in 2 weeks, barring, of course, nothing happens.
Yeah, well, you know. It's pretty short, though, so I feel pretty good, but we should have lots of time to do it.
Yeah. I don't recommend, like, watching all 12 in one day.
Yeah.
Maybe an episode or two a day.
Okay.
And anyone else who wants to watch Death Parade before Ryan gets to, see if you can beat him to the end. You've got a 2-week deadline.
Should be easy. I'm a very slow-paced viewer.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially with everything out there right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hope everyone enjoyed this podcast. Just give us watch this show and give us your opinions. I want to hear what some people's favorite heroes are in this show. Like, give me your favorite characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Leave it in the comments.
Shout it at us if you know us.
Yeah. Carrier pigeons, they work.
I would prefer, smoke signals myself.
Smoke signals.
But
you see smoke on the horizon that spells out Todoroki.
And I'd be like, that's extremely fitting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be back. We can be, and I hope you all enjoyed this again.
Yeah, thanks again for listening.
We still don't really have a sign-off yet, do we?
We do not have a sign-off. We have nothing close to a sign-off.
No, and I think until one hits us, how about that? If one of you guys has a sign-off for us, please. We kind of need one here. The awkwardness is getting insane.
Plug a bit of stuff here. Thanks for listening, everybody. As always, you can check out other episodes of Final Form or Jedi Dropouts, the geek pop culture podcast I do with James Moss over at www.jedidropouts.podbean.com or wherever podcasts can be found, including YouTube. And you can follow us over on our social media accounts. We got Facebook, we got the Instagram. We're hip with all the kids.
We're currently working on getting this podcast on vinyl.
Yeah. The release time might be dampened a little by that.
Considering vinyl is back in vogue, it'll probably be out by the time it's back in vogue after this time it's in vogue.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I think we're done.
A podcast is ending! A podcast is ending!
Yeah. Okay.